My beautiful friends, another lovely day. Very, very lovely, yes. Friday, April 9th, 2021. Why was it so lovely? Because it's a freak show, and I'm going to try to stay calm. New record highs today for the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the S&P 500. Absolutely epic. And as I have explained to you, despite what other people are trying to say, the market is melting up. This market is going higher, and not just a little higher. It's going much higher. It's an incredible phenomenon to see. I'm speechless. I mean, we have a free fall economy, and the faster it free falls, the higher, faster the stock market goes. Now, the driving force, public enemy number one. Public enemy number one. And that is the Federal Reserve. They're buying it all. They've gone completely insane. Creating a debt situation that has gone beyond, I think, everyone's wildest imaginations. Definitely beyond mine, maybe not beyond yours. I've been telling all of you forever now, the goal here of the central banks, especially the Fed, is to inflate on an epic scale. And we are clearly seeing that. And that's the driving force here. The more easy money, the higher the market's going to go. And all you got to do, you can do it right now. Open up another window, however you want to do it. Go to the Federal Reserve's own lovely website and look at their balance sheet. It's straight up. It's literally gone parabolic. And as long as that mechanism stays in place, no matter what else happens, the stock market will continue higher. It's really that simple. And now we have the prospect or promise now yesterday from Fed Chairperson Powell Yellowstone himself explaining the Fed's about to pull the trigger on yield curve control. I told you all, and I'm telling you again now, when this actually happens, if you think record highs are big now, your mind is going to be blown. Your head is going to explode off, because the stock market is going to skyrocket at that point. Once the market realizes that the Fed is literally going to suppress rates, which they're already doing, forever, and it's never going to stop, it really takes the risk out of any aspect of the market. So you're going to see not just traders like you and me, but institutions, investment banks, hedge funds. They're going to put so much cash into this market, and they're going to borrow to do it like they're already doing. And that is going to vault stocks to new heights beyond anyone's wildest imaginations. And of course, if Janet Yellen gets her lovely wish, and that is capital injections, which we saw during the meltdown of '08, well, that's going to, of course, fuel the market even further. And then we got the lunatic Biden here promising to, give money to everyone, everything. The Pentagon now, another $800 billion or almost $1 trillion to the Pentagon. This is all a mechanism here. Look, presidents, kings, queens, monarchs, dictators, all of them, they don't matter at all. They take their orders from the real government. We have a one world government today. One world government. That is the central banks working in concert to buy it all, to foster the largest wealth transfer that has ever been seen or witnessed in the history of the world. So we already have a one world government. For those of you waiting for it, the new world order, it's here now. The presidents, the kings, the queens, the monarchs, they're just puppets. They're showpieces. Okay, they look here, look over here. Don't look at what we're doing over here, the real government. So the shadow government is the banks. They're the real government. They are running the entire show. Okay, with that out of the way. So yes, record high for the S&P 500, record high for the Dow, Nasdaq doing very well lately. We will get new record highs with regard to the Nasdaq relatively soon. I can promise you that. Gold and silver, as well as crude oil, fell under pressure. Not going to last, at least with regard to crude in the short run. I'm telling you, I'm waiting for it. They're going to do it. You see, you have to understand the mechanism here. It's all about easy money. And there's more easy money than you can possibly imagine being poured into this market. Suppressed rates, robbing whoever's left of the middle class completely blind. Okay, that mechanism is in place, but crude oil must, I can't stress that enough, must get propped up here to keep the market moving higher, faster. So they're going to prop it up. I don't know what they're going to do. I'm still waiting for an event to occur in the Middle East. I'm sure it's going to happen. I just don't know when. None of us know when. We just know it is going to happen. It's common sense, at least it should be. But in the meantime, you're going to see little other things, small things like a refinery getting wiped off the map, other small things like maybe ships getting attacked, sunk possibly, other little small things like supply route disruptions. Oh, those are going to happen too. Just to, keep that floor under crude until the big event. And the big event is going to be big. There's no doubt about it. So like I said, crude under a little pressure today, gold and silver under pressure. Cryptocurrencies, people doing very well. And that should not surprise you whatsoever. I'm going to say it again, and I don't care if you don't like to hear it, because I've been 100% right, and I will continue to be right. Cryptos are going, again, like the stock market, not just higher. They're going much higher, unless there's some regulatory body like the SEC, who won't do anything. No, the SEC will not do anything about it. And there's a lot of reasons behind that too. You have to understand, why is it that the SEC isn't going to regulate cryptos or really scream too loud about regulating cryptocurrencies? It's very simple, and I think you understand it. It's the investment banks. It's not just people like you, me, buying cryptocurrencies. This is the investment banks. You understand? So again, they're not going to go against it. They're not going to. Just like, for example, the rigging and manipulation of precious metals, which is in our face. We all know who's doing it. It's J.P. Morgan. They will never do. Nothing will happen to them other than paying a fine once in a while. No arrests. No one will get in any trouble. They're just going to pay a fine, which is the cost of doing business, and they will. Nothing will happen because they're too powerful. You understand? They're part of the real government as well. It's the banks. Let me cover a few things here with you before I let you go. Just beautiful. So the Federal Reserve, all right, you know how much I despise this organization. So Federal Reserve President Crude today wants us all to know, are you ready? That if, I'm going to laugh, if year-end inflation doesn't stop, well, maybe it's not temporary. I mean, does that deserve a duh or a duh? Duh! Freaking duh! They want us to believe that the inflation we're seeing right now is temporary. Let me explain this to you. This is not only just the new norm, but it's going to get much, much worse. Again, we have a situation here where the Federal Reserve has gone crazy. They've gone mad. Printing, adding digits to a screen, buying everything. There's all of these dollars. They're just floating out there. And at one particular point, they're going to start chasing the same amount of goods. Massive inflation. We're getting it already. The talk all day today on the mainstream media outlets is inflation, 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 inflation. But there's no inflation. Oh, how about this? So we understand this morning the producer prices have been surging, and they surged in March, but it gets even better than that. The producer price inflation posted its largest annual increase since 2011. And if you think we're done, we're not. But Fed President Lex Luthor, also known as Kashkari, he doesn't see inflation, high inflation being a problem. Maybe because he's like a super rich millionaire, and it doesn't matter to him, but it probably matters to you. Let us move forward here. I'm just going to say this, and it's going to offend certain people, but I frankly don't care. So let me ask you. So when Fed Chairman Yellowstein himself says there's no inflation, one of two things is happening. This is me from earlier. Number one, he believes you are retarded. Or number two, he knows you are retarded. So you let me know, because it's above my pay grade. It's absolutely so sick. Here we go. Powell again had to say this again. The Federal Reserve, they're now taking on the role of medical doctor. So Federal Reserve Powell says we are all at risk until the world gets the vax. Very strange. How much do you trust the Federal Reserve with medical advice? How about financial advice? Did you trust them with that? I don't think so. I went on to say this. In the world today, there is no bigger or more powerful organized crime organization than the Federal Reserve. This is even better. Going back to the Producer Price Index, it has risen year over year, a staggering 4.2%. And here's another one. This is so interesting too. The global price gauge hits a new all-time record high. That means people all over the world are paying more today for things ever in their lives. But there's no inflation. Yellowstein himself. Do you think it's fair that the Federal Reserve can lie to us every day and there's no consequences for it? None of our so-called representatives hold the man responsible. As a matter of fact, when he shows up before Congress, when he testifies, they go, thank you. Thank you for your service. That's what they do. Yeah. Thank you for your service, sir. You can't make this stuff up. We are in the biggest freak show the world has ever seen and will probably ever know. I want you to know that. Anyway, look, so it's Friday, people. I'm going to let you off with my favorite three things. But before I do that, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Little. Small. Micro. Small. Tomorrow, you're going to hear from my friend Keon. He's going to do this cryptocurrency thing. It's going to start tomorrow. It's going to be every Saturday. I call him the crypto kid. No, he doesn't like that very much. I'm still going to call him the crypto kid. Just so you know. Maybe you want to call him the crypto kid. But don't tell him I said it. Okay? Anyway, that's it. People love each other. Care about each other. Be charitable. Enjoy the freak show. And I personally will see all of you on Sunday for my markets to look ahead. And it's going to be completely freaky. I guarantee it. Love you a lot. See you then.